Hey boys, it's HarmNone. We're back again for episode 8 of Forza Horizon 5. And we're going to be doing a pretty significant race in the game. I'm going to show you guys which one right now. It's actually the longest race in a Horizon game ever. It's called the Colossus. It is 34.3 miles long, which is extremely long. Now, I have done it before, off camera obviously, but today I wanted to make a special car to do this race really, really well. So we're going to be doing the Colossus today. Now, I did just say it is the longest race in Forza Horizon history, and I'm sure some of you guys are going to be thinking, well, no, the Goliath is actually the longest race in Horizon history because it's longer than the Colossus. That's not actually 100% true. The Goliath is actually only 33 point something miles in this game. So technically, the Colossus is actually still the longest race in the entire game. This is the car that we are going to be building today. It is the Honda NSX R GT, I believe. I think that's how you say that. I think that's the order of letters. You won this car last season, or in the first season of Forza Horizon 5. Now, you won it through the seasonal objectives. So you had to get 26 points to get it, and I was able to do that, so I'm, happy that I did, I guess. Now, as far as upgrading it goes, I don't want to go too high with the class of this thing. I want to keep it rear-wheel drive. I just want to make it into, a nice little race car. So we're going to start off with the tires. Now, we're going to put on full slicks on this thing, and then we're also going to widen up the tires, both the front and the rear. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to widen out the wheels as well. As far as the rims go, we could probably get some lighter rims on this thing. Yes, we can. Okay, I don't love these wheels, but they are like okay looking, so I'll go with those ones. Now, we could put on the front aero kit on this thing. I think we actually will, and we're also going to put on the rear wing because it just adds a little ducktail onto the back of the already pretty, good sized wing on this thing. So we'll do that just for some aero tuning. Now, next up, I want to do the transmission, of course. I think we'll stick with probably a 6-speed in this thing. I think it has that already. Got to put the differential on, of course, as well. Got to upgrade the brakes, too. Springs, we need some race springs on this thing, too. Anti-roll bars as well. And a weight reduction, of course, too, because it is going to be a full race car. So it's already looking pretty racy, pretty aggressive looking. Now, I was thinking about turboing it, but I'm not 100% sure if I actually want to do that or not. So we're going to upgrade the cams and the exhaust for right now, just to get a little bit more horsepower out of this thing. We're going to be shooting for the top of S1 class, I think. So should be a pretty good build, I think. Oh, okay. That will bring it to the top of S1 class right there. I guess we'll go with the sport engine block. Now, if we upgrade to the oil cooler, sometimes you can actually sneak in an extra upgrade. So let's do extra 3 horse right there. Okay, and that's all we can really do. So that seems like a pretty solid build. 2,340 pounds, 505 horsepower. This thing's going to be a bit of a rocket, so let's buy that. It's going to be a perfect S1 racer here. So let's go to the tuning now. So I'm going to do a brief little tuning guide in here for you guys who don't know much about tuning in Forza. If you want your car to be really fast off the line, what you will want to do is lower the rear tire pressure, assuming it's rear wheel drive. You will want to lower the rear tire pressure as low as you can, which is 15 psi. If you want it to grip really well though, I like to put it around 21 psi. We'll go for 21 psi. As far as the gearing goes, I don't really adjust it. I just like to make it so the line on the right hand side of the graph goes up to the red and the corner intersect of the graph. That's just what I like to do, so I'll go for that. As far as camber goes, I usually decrease it a little bit from what the stock setting is. For anti-roll bars, I kind of like my cars to be a bit stiffer, personally. But I know some people don't. So I'm going to go for a 3750 on the front and a 35 on the rear. Ride height, I like it to be a little bit raised up because if you're going over like a hill or something like that or a jump, your car will bottom out really easily if it's on like nothing. So I like to have mine just raised up a tiny bit. For the front springs here, I want to increase them a little bit. Probably 625.1. And then we'll do these to 700. We want a little bit more grip on the rear and a little less grip on the front. So we're going to adjust the front up a bit and just keep the rear kind of where it is. As far as cornering goes, I'll go 270 on the front here, and I'll go probably 600 on the rear here. Maybe not. That reduces the top speed a lot. Let's go for 570, maybe 555. There we go. 200 miles an hour top speed. That's pretty good. The differential, let's lock it out at 20 and 40. So a lot of that stuff, I don't even really know how to explain it. That's just how I tune cars. So if you want a good-ish tune on your car, I would recommend just copying what I just showed you guys. It usually works pretty good for me. I'm really hoping this car doesn't have a lot of understeer. We're going to have to find out though. So next up for the design and the paint. As far as the color goes, I think we're going to go with red. I mean, it's kind of my thing, I guess. For the wheels though, we will go black for sure. And for the window tint, let's tint that out too. Let's make the mirrors black too, just to match with the rest of the sort of look of the car. All right, this thing looks pretty decent. Let's save this to the current car. All right, and let's head over and actually do the Colossus. All right, boys, here we are. We're loading into the Colossus. Let's see how we do. Overall, on the drive over here to the Colossus, I was super impressed with this car. I think that I tuned it pretty well. And I think overall we're probably gonna have a pretty solid race here. So let's see what happens. Here we go. All right. So obviously the other cars seem a bit faster than mine off the rip here, but in the corners I think this car will definitely make up for what it lacks in horsepower maybe. So overall, this thing just feels awesome because it's so light that it just doesn't really understeer. It doesn't have the weight over the front wheels to actually understeer. So it feels really good. As you can see, we're already in 6th place here. So obviously, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep gaining on these guys. Got a big corner coming up right here. Make sure I slow down for it. There we go. I absolutely love this race. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty technical in certain places, but it's also got some really fast, like sweeping corners, like right here where we are. And anyway, let's make up some ground here. There we go. There's 5th. Let's try and pass Aaron here. Let's see if we can get around him. Yep, there we go. Oh, come on now. There we go. Okay, he braked real early for that corner. Okay, we got another sharp one coming up right here. It's always really important to look at the map as much as you can and be looking really far ahead of you too, so you can tell when there's a really sharp corner coming up, like right here. I know there's a lot of people that just sort of struggle with that, and they'll just end up like just slamming into every single wall on every single corner. It's just because like they're just not paying attention. So if you really pay attention to what's going on though, and you try to take the inside line on like all these corners if you can, you will do really well at racing. There goes my boy Nick in the Supra, 10 million horsepower, you guys know. Oh, we got these guys right on my tail too. Okay. Oh boy, oh, good save. Holy. I didn't know if we were going to make it out of that one. Well, these guys are trying to pass me. It's not going to happen. Is that a 350 or 370? I think it's a 350. Alright. I honestly would prefer to have like a lighter car than a car with like a ton of horsepower. Like this thing handles so nicely. I really have no complaints about it. Like it understeers a tiny bit, but it's really not bad. And of course you can tune understeer out of cars in this game if you get really good at tuning. I'm trying to personally learn how to just get rid of understeer, because understeer is like my most like hated thing. I can't stand understeer. I can deal with oversteer, no problem at all, but understeer is it's just a pain, because there's literally like nothing you can do other than just like slow down, and obviously if it's a race, slowing down really isn't like your greatest option, I guess. So I don't know, understeer just kills me. Alright, we've caught up to the pack pretty good here. Just got to keep taking the inside line on these corners. Every single corner I gain time. See, like I just gained time on the super right there. I'm gonna gain time on these guys too, right here. And right here too. Well, they did a pretty good line there though. Their cars have way more horsepower than mine does though. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna try to block him there. Unfortunately, the lightness does come at a cost to your car's overall rating. So I can't really get much more horsepower out of this thing because I focus so much on handling, but that's fine by me because handling, honestly, a lot of the time is what matters more than, you know, horsepower and having a good top speed and stuff like that. So here we go. We passed second place. We're gonna get first here in a second too. Don't worry about it. Take the inside here. Oh, I kind of got a worse line than he did actually. Okay, there we go. There's the inside. And sneak by here too. I did not touch that checkpoint, but you know what? I'm not going to say anything. We're going to just take it. Alright. There we are. Oh, these corners are pretty lethal on the Colossus. They get pretty sharp pretty fast here, so you gotta really watch out for it. Like I was telling you guys at the start of the race, you gotta watch ahead and just make sure that you're looking out, because some of these corners can really just ruin your day. So like this one here, if you're not paying attention, that will just destroy you straight into the wall, and just like it's gonna take you a few seconds to get out of that one, that's for sure. It's also important to just check behind you and see where these guys are, because, you know, you never know, they could be sneaking up on you and just trying to get a quick pass on you, but a lot of the time you can just block them, especially the AI. Like, the AI are pretty good about not hitting you in this game, so if you block them, like, pretty effectively, you'll pretty much stay in first once you have it, so. Of course, also, if you play on manual mode, it's really important to just stay in the right gear as much as possible. Sometimes I even catch myself, you know, I'll be in like 6th or something, and I should be in like 3rd. I'm getting pretty good at not doing that anymore, but, you know, it does still happen occasionally, so. There's a lot of things to pay attention to in this game. Especially in a race like this with all these like pretty sharp corners and stuff, and then you got the AI on your tail. You play in manual mode. It's it can get to be quite a lot, honestly, but it's okay. It's a lot of fun, especially once you get the hang of it too. I try to convince everybody that I play with to use manual, because it's just so much better than automatic in Forza, because you can just always choose what gear you want to be in. You can shift like as late as possible too, so you stay in the power band of your car for, you know, as long as possible too. Oh geez, thanks. Kind of messed up on that corner. Yeah, manual is like, I mean, like, in real life, I always hear, oh, manual is so fun and all this stuff. I drive an automatic. It's got paddle shifters and stuff, so, you know, it's cool. But, I know, I personally find the people in real life that go on about automatics and how manual is so much better, I find it, like, annoying. Like, I've tried driving manual. I couldn't do it. I was 15 at the time, so, like, you know, maybe 16. But, wasn't too great at it, but you know, I've been meaning to learn. It's just I haven't really got the opportunity to. So, but I always see guys in like Instagram comments and stuff always going on about how Manuel is better, and they always spell it wrong, and it's just a whole thing. In Forza, manual genuinely is better because it's just faster. You could switch into reverse like right away if you want to. Like I said, you can stay in the power band like super late, and you know, get another, you know, half a second of being at your car's maximum horsepower output. So it's got its perks, that's for sure. And if you're, you know, in the wrong gear in a corner too, sometimes that can mess you up. Like I personally find if I'm not in like a pretty low gear in the corner, my car understeers more because it's not going to oversteer because I don't have the power to actually make the rear tires kick out. See, he thought he was slick passing me there. It's not going to happen though. This is a pretty fun section of this race. I really like this. It's quite technical and quite turny, so pretty fun. Beautiful race too. You go through like pretty much the entire map. You go through the jungle, everything like that. So I like it a lot. Make sure we take the inside line here. Ooh, okay. Wasn't sure if we were gonna make it around that corner. Okay. I absolutely love this car. This thing is just, it handles like a dream. I need to tune out the little tiny bit of understeer that there still is, but man, for what it is, like for a first tune and a first run with this thing, I'm super impressed. This thing is so sick. I might have to go onto the auction house and try to buy a second one of these because I am a fan of this car. I'd like to get another one and maybe make it S2 class if I can. So this thing, man, it tears. I like it a lot. Alright, and here's the big straightaway on the map. Going across the bridge. This area is really, really fast, so my car might struggle a little bit here. I have put a lot of distance in between me and those AI though, so we'll have to see how we do here. Man, none of my cars have ever taken these corners as well as this thing is right now, so I'm just super impressed. Oh no. Oh dear. Yeah, we got some good distance on these AI. I'm pretty happy with where we're at right now. We got a few more twisty sections coming up here, so I should be able to gain a little bit more time on them because I think my car is actually better at, you know, turning and stuff and doing like the technical stuff than the AI's cars. So just got to keep this lead up. That's all. We're almost done the race. We're yeah, another 19% to go. So should be able to secure the win here, I think, boys. And the nice thing about this race too is it actually pays really well. I think you probably get around 100k for doing this, and then usually you level up like 2 or 3 times, so get some wheel spins out of it too, which potentially you can make a really, really good amount of money. So yeah, this is a good one to do for sure. And it's like, it's long, but it's not like that long, so I really don't mind doing these longer races. I kind of like the sort of endurance sort of stuff, so I personally find it pretty fun. The Goliath is a really fun race to do also because you can do it as a circuit. Well, it is a circuit to begin with. So you can make it like 50 laps if you want to. There's a lot of guys that are doing this AFK race glitch. Or it's not a glitch, it's just like you can basically do the Goliath but just AFK. Put a rubber band on your controller and set the assists to like automated. I think it's pretty cringe, to be honest, but it is there and there are a lot of people doing it, so I honestly think it's kind of lame, because like last night I literally saw a guy who was level like 173 third prestige or whatever. And I think it's after like 100 levels you get a prestige in Forza, or maybe it's after 200. I'm not sure, but yeah, you literally, like, you could tell the guy had probably done the Goliath AFK thing like several times. So unless he did it legit too, there is a possibility. But I mean, this early on in the game, I don't know who's got time to possibly do 50 laps of the Goliath like multiple times. So I certainly wouldn't even want to do it, because my game crashes a lot. So, well, not a lot, but you know, every once in a while. We're coming down to the last 5% of the race here, and we're still in first. We got a pretty good lead. As long as I don't mess up any of these corners, we should get the win here, I think. The AI are pretty much nowhere to be seen behind me too, so... Oh, there they are. I think it's pretty safe to say we've probably got this in the bag. Oh, yikes, that's the wall. Okay, there we go, boys. Look at that. Alright. Got the Colossus done. Let's see, how much XP do we actually get from this? Probably get some accolade points and stuff like that. I don't really care about that, honestly, but... There we go. 31,000 XP, it's pretty nice. Durango SRT, okay. Well, guys, I think that's pretty much it for this episode of Forza Horizon 5. If you guys enjoyed this, if you enjoyed the racing sort of content, let me know in the comments down below, of course. If there's anything you guys want to see on Forza Horizon 5, I am starting to sort of run out of ideas as far as like campaign stuff goes. So if you guys have any ideas for stuff that I could do, like maybe a build or something like that, let me know in the comments down below. If there's anything you guys want to see, let me know, and I might make a video on it. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.